It's another great day in Jamaica land we love. We're giving thanks and enjoying the Christmas breeze. I'm Adrian Atkinson and this is Jamaica Magazine. As always, you can count on us to give you the information you need to make those important decisions. In our package today, we look at one career option that's been attracting young people all over the world. And we'll tell you about one partnership that's been improving safety and security. Those features are coming up after the news, so don't go away. The magazine begins right now.
I needed help to expand my business, but the banks only wanted to be up in my business. The high interest rates were killing my business. They're never really business with my business.
At the Exim Bank, we have your business needs covered. Our application process is easy, and we provide loans at competitive rates for the productive sector. From renewable energy projects and working capital to plant upgrades or expansion and export financing. Come in and talk to us today. The Exim Bank. On the road to success, you are going to want us in your business.
Good day, I'm Andrea Chisholm and this is your GIS News for Wednesday, December 4. Government will begin preparing for the 2014-2015 financial year during a special cabinet meeting on Thursday and Friday of this week at Jamaica House. A release from the Office of the Prime Minister said the special cabinet meeting would review the country's medium-term economic program and the macroeconomic projections, the country's growth strategies and social protection programs, as well as progress made in priority programs and projects will also be discussed. Following those discussions, the government will outline its strategic priorities for the 2014-2015 financial year. Government has 5 strategic priorities for the current financial year: fiscal prudence and the pursuit of a credible economic program, job creation and economic growth, improved security and safety, human capital development, and effective social inclusion. The governments of Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago have agreed to several actions to improve trade and travel relations between the two countries. It follows 2 days of bilateral consultations chaired by the foreign affairs ministers of both countries from December 2 to 3 in Jamaica.
I believe what we have achieved at the end is a very robust approach, consistent with the aspirations of community law that affects the movement of persons in the community.
After meetings with Jamaican private sector leaders, the ministers agreed to work together to find solutions to the issues affecting bilateral trade. As it regards the free movement of citizens between both countries, they agreed that immigration officials should operate within the context of the Shanique Myrie CCJ ruling and the limits imposed by community law. Immigration legislation and procedures in both countries should also be reviewed to ensure that CARICOM nationals' right of entry is respected and that an appeals process is in place for those denied entry.
Notwithstanding the fact that a significant number of Jamaicans have entered Trinidad and Tobago without any difficulty, and might I just pause, it's about 96%. We have agreed that the immigration authorities of both countries must cooperate in addressing allegations of profiling.
Regular cooperation and real-time information sharing between immigration authorities of Jamaica and Trinidad was also agreed to. And in that vein, Minister Ducaran has invited Minister Nicholson to hold a second round of consultations in Port of Spain in the first quarter of 2014 to take stock and follow up on the agreements reached in Kingston. Some good news now for the tourism sector. Portfolio Minister Dr. Wicker McNeil announced Tuesday that the industry has reversed losses suffered at the start of the year, with numbers now showing resurgence in arrivals and bookings.
The summer is up nearly 3% over last year, and the fall and winter are pacing well ahead of last year.
Dr. McNeil was speaking at a press launch of the 2014 Caribbean Travel Marketplace planned for January 12 to 14 at the Montego Bay Convention Center. Dr. McNeil said the outlook for the sector would become even more positive due to the ministry's robust marketing efforts. He added that the Caribbean Travel Marketplace should also bring together the world's biggest tour operators and help foster further growth.
Caribbean Marketplace 2014 promises to be one of the largest stages ever, having already attracted a significant number of bar delegates so far.
More than 20,000 people have been added to the National Voters List. The Electoral Office of Jamaica EOJ has published the November 30, 2013 Voters List showing approximately 1.7 million registered electors. 6,974 names were removed from the list and 29,105 added. Director of Elections Oret Fisher says ID cards for those who have been added to the list will be ready for distribution by December 13. Copies of the list will be placed at post offices across the country and will also be available at the EOJ constituency offices. And finally, Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller has called for the full integration in society of persons with disabilities. Her comments came Tuesday as the country observed Disability Awareness Day under the theme Break Barriers, Open Doors for an Inclusive Society for All. Mrs. Simpson Miller said over the years, persons with disabilities had been marginalized and isolated, and this has kept them among the poorest in the world. She insisted that it was incumbent on all to eradicate the obstacles and create a more inclusive society for them. At the state level, the Prime Minister said her administration was determined to enact legislation to protect the rights of persons with disabilities. She assured that this would be done during the current legislative year. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to live, work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
Improving safety and security is more than just crime fighting. It's a fact policymakers are aware of, and that's why they're finding new ways to engage young people in at-risk communities, pulling them into positive ventures. Here's one program that's been making an impact.
It's said that the devil finds work for idle hands. And with illegal quick cash schemes and violent activities being easy distractions for young people, government is ensuring that these young hands are occupied to build life skills and self-esteem and keep the youngsters out of harm's way. And so they arrive at the Jamaica Defense Force JDF headquarters by 8 a.m. Armed with helmets, boots, and recommended garb to match, it's time for a training program that promotes a positive change in attitude while sharpening vocational skills. General construction, welding, auto mechanics.
I'm taking the level of oil in the power steering reservoir.
Plumbing, and electrical installation. Just some of the focus areas under the Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP's internship program with the JDF at Up Park Camp. CSJP is a crime and violence prevention initiative which builds the overall safety and security of communities. Part of the prevention strategy involves providing an outlet for young people to support themselves and family, rather than turning to accusatory crimes like robbery and violent crimes like murder. And so, in 2012, the CSJP began a partnership with the JDF through a Memorandum of Understanding to offer on-the-job training to hundreds of youngsters. It initially started out as a 6-month program, but based on feedback from participants and organizers, it was extended on about 2 occasions. Over 400 participants are now expected to graduate in December 2013 and receive certificates from CSJP and JDF.
The partnership was born out of the fact that many of the youngsters we observe lack practical experience, and given the current macroeconomic situation, many of them were unable to get jobs.
So, since the JDF has a number of construction projects underway at Up Park Camp and CSJP participants need the experience, the partnership allowed those who are already certified to undertake the required tasks. That leaves room for members of the JDF Engineering Regiment to embark on other projects of national importance. The target group is unattached or at-risk youth, persons in the 20 to 35 age group who are certified by the Heart Trust NTA, have a clean police record, and reside in one of the 50 CSJP communities.
The overall objectives of the program is really to improve the employability of the youngsters, but critically for us also is the improvement in their social skills.
The CSJP also pays a stipend and provides the safety gear for the youngsters, while the Army representatives supervise the participants and the execution of their tasks.
They will come in and whatever it is that their tasks are or their supervisors will pass on to them, they will do whatever that is for the day. And even if they don't know what to do, they'll be coached and told what to do. And eventually they acclimatize or they manage to simulate it, and it works for them in the long run.
One of the good things about this CSJP JDF program is that the participants are being cross-trained, allowed to develop a multiplicity of skills. As part of the crime-fighting strategy, the government has been focused on improving the relationship between the citizens and security personnel, building trust, and reminding persons that a safer Jamaica requires the input of all citizens. Now, through the CSJP program, that relationship is being bolstered as the participants have one-on-one interaction with the soldiers.
Interacting with the soldiers, them, you know, when they are on duty on the road, they are totally different from over here. So, getting to know them, they are human beings as well.
Some program participants who had no intention of being in the military even exceeded their individual expectations and decided to apply for a job.
Recruiting has taken place, and you must recognize that the recruiting process for the Jamaica Defence Force is an open process. It is not limited to any individual or group. So even if these individuals were not a part of this program, they could have applied to become a part of the JDF anyway.
A lot of my friends came on the program with not the interest of being in the army. They weren't exactly thinking in that area, but since we've been here, our mentality has changed so much that we have now I've seen the need to go in the army.
Those friends have since graduated from the JDF training program and are now officially soldiers.
Right now, I want to tell you I'm an all-rounder, right? Because I realize when I'm home, there's no challenge too hard for me to fix it. You understand? So right now, I'm a local Mr. Fix It.
Before I came here, I was only able to wire a house. Now I'm able to climb posts and stuff.
I mostly worked on cars and stuff, but now I'm working on being able to work on the trucks and the tractors. I've learned a little more technicality and more teamwork.
My plans of complete this program is trying to go out there, make myself more marketable and get a job that I can take care of myself and family.
The Ministry of National Security through CSJP and the JDF, transforming the lives of unattached youth to enhance their vocational skills and promote positive behavioral change. It's all part of the broader strategy to beef up social intervention programs, creating opportunities for youngsters while keeping them out of harm's way. This will in turn lead to improved security and safety in communities across Jamaica, allowing the government to fulfill Strategic Priority 3 for the financial year.
Family, school, church, community, all important agents of change in our society.
They influence what we think about ourselves, our surroundings, and how we see the roles of males and females.
Let's all work together for equality for all Jamaicans.
Let's make Jamaica a place where both males and females have equal access to a good education, good jobs, the best healthcare, and opportunities for the good of the country.
Males and females are different, but it doesn't mean they're not equal.
Let's build a Jamaica that doesn't discriminate. Become an agent of change.
It's the final month of the year, the time when most of us start to evaluate our achievements and make plans for the coming year. Perhaps you want to learn a skill or turn your passion into a money-making venture. If that passion is cosmetology, watch this next feature for some useful information.
Did you know that hairdressing dates back to thousands of years? It seems people in just about every culture have found reasons to cut, add to, color, or in some other way change the look of their hair. And there is no sign that this career is going to die out anytime soon.
According to the Ministry of Labor, hairstylist, as part of the category of personal care specialists, was among the top 10 hottest occupational areas in demand during the period April to June 2013. A similar picture is painted internationally, with the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics projecting that employment in this field will grow by 15.7% by the year 2020.
It's a fast-growing business. I don't think it will ever get slower.
The beauty industry is a thriving institution.
It's also a profession that attracts people with a passion for the vocation.
I like creating different styles. I enjoy doing that a lot, and I'm good at it. So I think it's a good choice.
Keisha, what made this career so appealing to you?
I love making people look pretty. I used to comb kids here at school. And when I go home, I have a sister that is a hairdresser and I used to assist her. So I just eventually branch off in it.
Also known as a cosmetologist, beautician, or hairstylist, a hairdresser is someone who styles people's hair professionally. The job involves shampooing, cutting, coloring, chemically treating, weave making, and otherwise styling people's hair. Depending on the scope and size of the salon in which you work or operate, other tasks may include performing reception duties, compiling client records, and cleaning the salon, work areas, and equipment. Whatever the task, it's critical that the hairdresser consults with the client to best meet that person's expectations.
They only focus on the treatment of the hair as well because they want to inform the client what is happening underneath, whether or not the scalp is okay. So they also consult and give direction as to what is best for the client.
Keisha, what are you doing now?
I'm doing a soft twist because they told me that your hair is thin and you don't want it to look stringy. So I gave the soft twist so it has volume.
I like it.
Thanks.
All right. All right, so tell me, what are some of the hygiene or safety measures that stylists must take when dressing people's hair?
Your hands must be clean. You must always, your underarm must always be covered. And your utensils that you use must always be sanitized.
Do you have to attend beauty school before actually working in this industry?
Yes. It is best to be trained so you know knowledgeable about the field as well as you can talk to somebody on the theory aspect of it, because it's not knowing just how to do a hairstyle, but you also need how to maintain the hairstyle and best practices such as health and safety. What is good for the hair? What is not good? What is the hair saying?
You'll also need a license to practice in Jamaica and most other countries.
And you have to go and do a test with the license and carry a certificate when you're going to get the license.
How do you attract and maintain clients? It's not easy.
Good personality. And when you do your hair a style, you do it to the best of your ability, and that when somebody go out, they can see it and ask where you get your hair done. The industry right now, quote unquote, is kind of a competition and the best persons win, because it's like music industry. If you do not keep abreast of what is happening, if you don't apply new techniques or better ways of doing the thing, make it more competitive, then you're gonna drop out the game.
Keisha, you know one thing I didn't ask you about earlier? Money. And you can tell me what this hairstyle is going to cost a little later here.
Okay.
But is there good money to be earned in this industry?
Yes. It is. Once you have a good clientele, you can make money.
have to have a plan. You have to have a business plan. You can't just think that, okay, I'm going to make some money, but you're not practicing best practices in terms of making sure that all your bills and receipts are kept and that you're keeping money management.
Consider also taking your craft outside the salon to increase clientele.
Yeah, the house calls continuously, and I have clients that come to my home.
You could also find opportunities in a number of other places, such as hotels, hospitals and care homes, and cruise ships. Plus, cosmetologists working in the theatre, film and television industries generally earn top salaries. Whatever path you choose, remember that this is a job that generally has no set work hours, and it often calls for being on your feet for long periods at a time. But those who do this job say it's worth it.
Skill is power, and one of my tagline is be your own boss.
Since 1966, December 7 has been observed as International Civil Aviation Day to bring attention to the importance of civil aviation policies. These policies set the rules for the operation of commercial or private aircraft. They ensure they are properly maintained and meet design standards, institute guidelines for the training and certification of operators, design and construct safe facilities for landing and takeoff, and monitor traffic at airports. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Want to learn more? Contact the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, the state entity in charge of ensuring we're up to date with international standards. Call the JCAA at 960-3948 or visit their office at 4 Winchester Road, Kingston 10.
Show how much you know about the Global Logistics Hub to be established in Jamaica and get the opportunity to win some interesting prizes, including cash and a trip to Panama, by entering the Global Logistics Hub essay competition. If you're between 15 and 35 years, write an essay in 2,000 words or less on the theme Jamaica's Global Logistics Hub, the big opportunity for Jamaica and the world. Essays should be typed using either Arial or Times New Roman font, double-spaced, and include the participant's name, address, telephone number, and email address. Drop them off at the offices of the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce by 2 p.m. on December 15, 2013, or send via email to logisticsessay@mic.gov.jm. Call 754-2164 or 754-4719 to find out more.
The season of giving is upon us, and while we think of ways to make our loved ones feel special, let's not forget the less fortunate. One way to help brighten their season is by contributing to the Salvation Army, a charitable organization that caters to the needy.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle.
There is a little red kettle on a corner somewhere waiting to be lit to boil. It provides broth and bread for the less fortunate, the decrepit, invalids and shut-ins. When the lid of the kettle is lifted at the end of each year, thousands receive their blessings.
Thank you. Hello, my sister. Can you give us a donation, please?
The red kettle is recognized as the brightest 19th century idea born of the spirit of charity. American Navy veteran Captain Joseph McPhee is credited with the invention. He came up with the concept in 1891 to raise money to provide San Francisco's poor with Christmas dinners.
Put this up. Around this way. Style and pattern.
The Salvation Army adopted the fundraising symbol in 1895 and Jamaica became a patron when the charity organization started on the island some 120 years ago.
This is the only fundraising effort we have around this time of the year, for the entire year, besides the annual dinner which we have for internal purposes. But other than that, this is the main fundraiser we have for the Salvation Army.
Around the second or third week of November each year, the Salvation Army deploys members of its corps in major cities across the island to man the kettles and encourage donations.
At this time, people have more freer spirit of giving, so and indeed seems to be even more pronounced around this time of the year. So therefore, it's a good time.
The members of the Salvation Army are Christian volunteers who believe that love for the Creator must naturally extend to those of His creation who are in need. The Salvation Army's integrity precedes its work. It matches every cent in your dollar with its unfailing credibility.
We are very trustworthy, and because what we say we will do, and when we take funds for a particular thing, it is used for that purpose and nothing else. And therefore, we can say with a surety at least 70% of what we receive go towards the programs for which we solicit the funds.
Corporate Jamaica has persistently demonstrated their confidence in the charity organization. However much you have to place in the islet on its lid will help to spread the spirit of Christmas to the aged, the disadvantaged, the incarcerated, and the poor. Remember too that need has no season. The Salvation Army has a long list of charities which it supports year-round.
What is left over will be used during the course of the year to help with our social programs in our respective units. Because we have an aftercare program for children, and also for school children who can come and have do their education studies at our centers, and also help with their homework as well. Also, we have our over 60s, our senior citizens club that we provide assistance with, and our feeding programs, and also our children's home.
You can contribute cash or kind to their ministry. Donations can be made at any of its branches, corps, or establishments island-wide. The Salvation Army's corporate area headquarters is located at 174 Orange Street, downtown Kingston. The territorial head offices are at 3 Waterloo Road in the Halfway Tree area, and it runs the School for Blind and Visually Impaired Children at 57 Mannings Hill Road. You can call them at 922-0287 for the location of the corps in your area. However, there is a Salvation Army volunteer manning a kettle near you today. The kettles will be packed away by New Year's Eve. Major Darrell Wilkinson and his corps are confident that the generous Jamaican spirit will cause those little red kettles to overflow this Christmas.
I think the general public have really caught on tremendously with our ministry and have been very supportive. As a matter of fact, as time gets even tougher, we find that people still have that desire to give and support each other in these situations. And so it has been quite good, I must say. And I think what I'm very encouraged really, as I see parents in particular, who are teaching their children the need to give, not just to the Salvation Army, but have this social conscience overall, and that speaks volumes.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell.
It's the end of another episode, but you may visit our YouTube channel to see this and other programs. The JIS website is also chock full of information you can use, so feel free to log on. If you have a question, comment or suggestion, send an email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or link us on Twitter @JIS News. Join us again on Jamaica Magazine, same time tomorrow for another in the series. Till then, remember that you are the master of your own destiny. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Have yourselves a great evening.
Checking out a show in Jamaica, it is fine.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.